The Marine Corps was wonderful also because you deal with so many different people and you have to deal with them. You learn to deal with them. And later on you might even realize that you enjoy working with them. And I think that that's true for gays and lesbians because in the Marine Corps, again, it's not a question of whether you want to work next to a Latino, or whether you want to work next to a woman, or whether you want to work next to a Jew or a Black. It's whether they're doing the job and you're doing the job.
It's a challenge for the military, and the military has always been part of the blend that is America. It's actually yeasted, I think, the ability of us to get along with each other. Our wars have proved that. We've had Bronx Jews thrown together with rednecks from Alabama, and they found out that they're all just people.
One of the good things about the military is you may not be able to change attitudes, but you sure can change behavior because you have people who follow orders, and you have promotion is based on how well you deal with your fellow members and how committed you are to equal opportunity. And once people know that if they don't get the right check on that, their attitude may not be there, but I can assure you that their behavior will be.
The military is designed to follow orders. They have discipline. If the top levels of the military says the current policy is that everybody, including gay, lesbian soldiers, are to be treated as equals and not to be referred to in a derogatory manner, their orders are to be followed just as if they were given by any other effective, competent leader, then that's what will happen.
They will take orders from a gay or lesbian soldier. They will take orders from a woman. They'll take orders from a Black. Anybody who's there, they'll take orders from. They may not like it, but that's part of what they know their job is in the military.
I think my men serve as a blueprint as to how successful the situation can work because when I came out to them, I never had any repercussions. I never had somebody say, I won't serve under a faggot sergeant. I won't serve under you because you're gay. I never had that issue.
Actually, I joined the Navy in April of 1980. At that time, Americans were being held hostage in Iran against their will. That infuriated me to the point where I had to do something about it. And the Navy came along. I don't expect everybody in the military to be my friend. I don't expect everybody in the military to accept my sexual orientation. God knows it took me 27 years to come to terms with my sexual orientation. But what I do expect them to do is do their job as professionally as possible. And that's all we ask anybody in the military, is to do their job.
I knew that Keith Meinhold was gay while I was working for him, and to me there was no impact on my relationship with him in work. I respected him for the job that he could do, and that was what was important to me.
It is much more attractive to me to see a man who is open and accepting of all people than someone who is bigoted and closed-minded.
After I left the Navy, I was working for Safeway, and one day I was leaving work. It was about the time Keith was readmitted to the Navy, and one of the checkers turned to me and said, "Hey, do you hear they're letting fags back in the Navy?" And it just angered me so much, I turned around and said, "Hey, that fag was the best man at my wedding." He just seemed like the perfect person to have as my best man.
I'm married and I've got 4 sons. I'm a veteran of Vietnam. I served 1963 to 66, the last year of which I served with the 1st Air Cavalry in Vietnam. I am currently a sergeant in the Minnesota Army National Guard. My commander is Captain Pam Mint. Eventually I figured out that, that my boss is a lesbian. And of course, being a biased person, I had to sort through some things. And I decided that it was not that big a deal because there were too many other positive things that I found in our relationship that I could overlook that. It wasn't an issue for me.
When we're in a situation where we're functioning in a crisis, the last thing on his mind is that I'm a lesbian. The last thing on my mind is that he's heterosexual. What's on our mind is we have a job, we have a mission, and let's do it to the best of our ability.
When I started applying to Annapolis, I started talking to more and more people about it and became more and more excited. I got the catalog, and after I was accepted, there was a few months between my acceptance and when I actually entered, I looked at that catalog every day. I dreamed about what it would be like. My family was incredibly proud of me. I'm the youngest of 7 children. I think it just, if they really took into account the lesbians that are in the service right now, how successful they are, I think that a lot of the arguments would just fall apart. I know personally from my ship, of the lesbians that I knew on board it, if you took all of us off, that ship would not have been able to get underway. My last active duty position, I was the supply officer at Naval Security Station in Washington, D.C., and as such I provided logistic and contracting support for Headquarters Naval Security Group Command and Naval Computer and Telecommunications Command. And as such I was responsible for all the logistical support for Operation Desert Storm for the Navy's cryptology efforts.
Lesbians make exceptional soldiers because they're hardworking, they're diligent. Often they don't have the cares of a family, and they basically have been acknowledged to be hardworking and diligent by admirals in the Navy who wrote memos and so forth.
In fact, we had a bizarre situation where we had the commander of the Atlantic Fleet, a Navy admiral, saying, you know, you got to get after these people because most times they're good performers, and if you don't make an extra special effort, you're not going to get them out because they're performing so well. So, I mean, we've almost turned the thing upside down. Whereas we thought that gays and lesbians would cause problems, now they're doing so well, but in spite of that, we still have to be vigilant to get them out. And that's just a complete reversal of the policies that I thought we were enunciating a decade ago.